The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is show number 600, and I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you so much for joining us. An extra special edition right here today as we celebrate the 600th episode. And while we say 600, also know that because of reruns and in the 12 years, we've probably had upwards of maybe 700 or so shows right here on the air being heard every week. So we're glad that you joined us. And today we're going to do a few things. We're going to look back a little bit. We're going to look ahead. But we're going to start with an exceptional real estate professional right here because through the years, we've had real estate professionals in all realtors, brokers, home stagers, mortgage people. We've had all kinds of great guests, a celebrity every now and then. But I wanted to start where the bread and butter of the show, the bread and butter of the guest and the casting of this show with a super, as I said, real estate professional. Her name is Roberta Meggs with Keller Williams Southwest. Roberta, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. I am super excited to be here and on your 600th episode. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And it is exciting. And I will tell you, I did not know you till just a few days ago.
Correct.
And what's great about the real estate community, even though there's like a zillion realtors, maybe 40,000 plus, but a lot. But when I hear someone say, hey, I know someone that's incredible, I had to give you a call and say, join us on number 600.
Well, I am very privileged to be here. I appreciate that.
So let's tell people you are a real estate professional with Keller Williams Southwest. So let's tell people, in case they might not be in Houston or listening from afar, give us an idea geographically where you're doing most of your work.
Absolutely. Most of my work is right in my backyard where I live in the Fort Bend County, which is the southwest area of the greater Houston area. So Sugarland, Richmond, Rosenberg, Missouri City, go up to Katy, some of those parts. That's my backyard. That's where I live, I work, I play, and that's where I do the majority of my real estate. And then up in Houston, of course, too, but primarily Fort Bend County.
And, of course, as we talk about it right here on the show and around town, we know that real estate seems to be expanding in a regular, steady, very steady way everywhere. But tell us what's going on in that southwest area. It's pretty exciting, right?
Oh, Bill, I'm so glad you asked. How much time do we have? No, just kidding.
Keep going. We'll see.
So Fort Bend, because most of Houston has been built out, especially like Sugarland, they're tapped out right now. Richmond and Rosenberg is just booming, and there are so many new communities coming up. You've got the George, Rye Hills, 3,000 homes, lots of them, Needville, but the biggest one that everyone is talking about, or they should be talking about anyways, is called Austin Point. And if you haven't heard of Austin Point, you need to look it up. Austin Point is the largest master plan community in over 40 years in Fort Bend County. It is going to be a city within a city. I'm talking 4,700 acres, 14,000 homes, and they're expecting 50,000 people. All right. So when I say this is big, it is big. And it's not just a community. I mean, it's a lifestyle. So they're doing, it's called front porch living, right? So lots of big front porches. Garages are going to be tucked away in the back because it's really, they're calling it the walkable community where you can walk everywhere. It's going to be 1,000 acres of parks and trails. They just had their big grand opening, the 1824, and it's a venue for everything from concerts to hanging out to food trucks, you name it. It is there. And they're really trying to blend the modern with the old school, where, again, people come together and hang out and they play. So it's huge. Phase 1 is open. They've got 9 builders actively building right now in Phase 1. And maybe a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, they just launched the article that the first 20 families first moved in, and they've sold 60 homes of the 14,000 that will be up there eventually.
They've already sold 60 homes.
67, I think, is what the article
Holy
said.
smokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
People are
fascinating,
moving.
this is the first that we've heard about it on the show.
Okay.
So you are here to tell us, and it sounds like you're an expert already on this area.
Well, it's being built in my backyard. I mean, literally down the road from where I live. I mean, it's zoned to the same high school where my daughter is, and that's a big one. People move for schools, right? You're zoned to George Ranch High School. And what's really cool about George Ranch is it's George Ranch, Reading, and Polly Ryan, 6th to 12th grade, all right there. So that's great when you got multiple kids. They're like all right there. And we're one of the top Lamar CISD schools in there. But I mean, I've watched it go up in my backyard. And again, because of where I live, I mean, new construction everywhere in Fort Bend specifically. I mean, lots of places, Richmond, Rosenberg. So it's big.
And the name again is Austin Point, right? So in there's a contrast, and correct me if I'm wrong, as you're saying this, it's new construction central, sounds like, right?
Very much.
Not that far away in Sugar Land, which is about how far?
Right up the road.
Okay, so Sugar
I mean,
Land,
depending on what
and
part of Sugar Land,
correct me
yeah.
if I'm wrong, is pretty well established, and you're not going to find new construction, or are you?
You're not. Sugar Land is tapped out. The city of Sugar Land has a program now that they're offering people money, homeowners money, to upgrade the exterior of their home. So they're trying to find ways to still bring movement to the community. And that's interesting because, you know, when we talk home values in real estate, new growth means new schools, and schools are one of the biggest drivers of value, home value in real estate, right? And so Fort Bend, so people think Fort Bend schools, Fort Bend ISD, right? And that's great. Sugar Land just announced they're closing, Fort Bend ISD is closing 7 schools in the fall. Because people are like, well, why is that? Well,
Why?
because people haven't moved, right? Because if you move every 10 to 12 years or whatever, now these people have been in their homes for a long time. Sugar Land's very established. They've grown up. So you're not bringing in new kids. So the elementary schools went down. And we faced some of that in certain parts. And so I'm zoned to Lamar CISD. That's where George Ranch is. And Lamar is a fantastic school district as well. And what Lamar is in is called a hyper-growth district because of all this new construction. But what's interesting with the home values there is you might be zoned to one school now. The next year it might be a different one. And some of them are building their own schools already. Brookwater is just down 59 and Spur 10. It's got, I think, 7 builders out there. They have their own elementary school opening up in the fall. And so they'll be building more. But what that means is where you're zoned today might not be where you're zoned next year. And it's constantly changing. So all the growth in the establishment is creating a lot of uncertainty for some people as far as schools and home values.
All the more reason to have the right real estate
1,000%.
professional like Roberta Meggs.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, 1,000%. That's what I told people. Interesting. I was meeting with a potential client the other day, and they're like, hey, I just want a home that's really, really going to go up in value. And I was like, yeah, so do you know?
Doesn't everybody?
What are the school
Right.
districts doing right now? He's like, what? And I was like, exactly that. I mean, I do open houses every weekend, multiple ones. People come for the schools, especially in communities like Riverstone. Everyone comes to Riverstone. They come from Telfair, which is a fantastic community, but it's not the Riverstone schools. They come there for the schools. When I'm in Katy, lots of people from Lamar are actually coming up to Katy because they're just tired of all the rezoning, right? But people move for the schools. The equity is in the schools, which is also why when people talk about interest rates and they're worried about, you know, a recession or values going down, I mean, but when you're zoned at these top schools, that's your equity proof right there. I mean, may it falter a little bit? Maybe. But people will always move for good schools, at least here. I've seen it. And I don't think that will change.
Roberta, you seem to be a little excited about real estate, just a bit, right? That's awesome. So give us an idea of all the things you could be doing. What is it about real estate that gets you so excited?
Oh, my goodness. Do I have to pick just one? Okay. The people. Bill, I mean, ultimately, I'm here to help people. I think so many people are living in a home that doesn't fit their lifestyle anymore.
It's key.
They've either outgrown the space, right? Not enough closet space, the kitchens, or it's too much space. Their family has moved on, or it was something when they moved into the new community, and now things have switched around them, and now their neighbors aren't the same. I mean, so many things that have changed because things are always changing in life. But they're waiting for someday, and they are afraid because they don't know what that someday looks like, and there's not a lot of clarity. And so I think I love being able to sit down with people early on in the process and say, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And so many times, and I'm the queen of it. I already made up this whole, well, it can't work out because this and that and that. And how I actually got into real estate is funny. My husband did that for me. So the economy was down. We needed to get out of our house. He's like, hey, let's rent it out. And I was like, no way. Too risky, not doing it. He's like, hold on. He broke down the data. It is doable. And I was like, okay, we'll try it. So then we did it. Then we learned a lot of what to do, what not to do. Economy rebounded. We sold it because that's when we moved here. And then we were like, hey, let's start picking up rental properties. All right. And everybody was telling us, Bill, don't do it. Wait.
It's risky.
Wait, don't do it. And they're like, no, don't buy now. Wait to buy. Wait to buy. Wait to buy. Had I listened to them, I would have never bought, and I would have been missing on appreciation. I mean, my husband's like, look, he took the data, brought me the data. He goes, Roberta, let's do the math. We put 20% down. We're making this much. We're still making money. He goes, if the interest rates go down, if it gets better, guess what? We refinance and we make more money. But if we can get the lifestyle that we want now, why not? And then if it changes, we'll refinance and we'll make it then. And again, I'm telling you, I would have been kicking myself. We would have never bought. I would have never had what I have now had I not listened to my husband. And so it's really cool because I get to have these conversations with people now who are really stuck in this someday, whether they're scared to move or scared to buy, and they really just don't know what it looks like. And it's very different. It's not a one-size-fits-all answer, right? What are your goals? What do you want to do? And where are you at? And then let's break down the data, how we get there.
Okay, give us an idea. So it sounds like you're not only an expert there at Austin Point, you're serving people, Sugar Land, all the Fort Bend area, even Katy, doing tremendous work, and you're inspiring your buyers and sellers and counseling them, in I think in a very distinctive and special way. Give us a word, Roberta, on social media, how you're using that. And, of course, the other two letters in the English language, AI. What's going on with those things, and how do you incorporate them to get the word out about Roberta Meggs?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So let's talk about social media. I'm still trying to figure out all the different platforms, but Facebook has been my main one. So if you want to connect with me, I built my business page. There's nothing on it yet, but I'm a relational person. So just friend me, Roberta Meggs, on Facebook. And I do like to share about lifestyle. I mean, real estate is lifestyles, really. So it's not just your home. It's the neighborhood that you're driving into. I always tell people you should love where you live, right? Like as you're driving into your neighborhood, that should make you happy. And if not, you need to find a different neighborhood. And so lifestyles, what are the things that you go to? So I post things about, of course, 2 boys in baseball. I'm at baseball 4 nights a week now. My daughter's in track in high school. So lifestyle things. I teach group fitness. I like that. But a lot of my real estate content honestly comes from conversations that I have with people, like real questions that people are asking at open houses. I do a lot of videos and shorts about questions that people are asking, and I get to share that because I think, hey, if 2 people that in the conversation have had this question, maybe more people would want to know. And
then how about AI?
How do I not use AI?
How do you not use it? Exactly.
But let's talk about, hey, what this would mean for people listening. So yeah, you can create AI to build out your content. I'm a very authentic person. So the thing is, I created my own messaging and I just use AI to help clean it up. But I want to talk about what I want to talk about and the way I want to talk about it. But I think really a big one today is for buyers and sellers. So when we talk about sellers, now the game has changed, right? You used to be able to stick a sign in your yard and people would come want to buy your house. Now it's, we'll talk about the market in a bit. But so we use AI for optimization. I worked on the listing just now that went live, and every single photo was optimized with, hey, I've got 3 different photos of the exterior. So now I ask Claude, what are the words people are searching for that are relevant for this one?
Good one.
If it's a multi-generational home, are people searching multi-generational? Are they searching next gen? Are they searching aged in place, elderly? Right? And so we want to use those key terms. It used to be all about SEO. Now it's all about AI optimization, and both of them. And so this is great. You just dump what I know, and now AI will help me use those keywords for my videos, for my listings, etc. I mean, one of the many ways.
Sounds exciting. Roberta Meggs, Keller Williams Southwest. Roberta, let's tell people how they can reach you. I know they want to reach out right now. What's the phone number?
281-512-2551. Call me. You can text me. Love phone calls, text 281-512-2551. 281-512-2551.
Roberta, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Very excited.
Hey, everybody. Over 600 episodes ago, and of course, today we're celebrating 600 episodes. Betty Warren is the one who said yes to this show way back when I first started Stewart Title, and she had gone on to have a remarkable career. She's now retired, and of course, along the way, Betty has helped me find my way and helped so many others, as she was the sales manager, again, way back in 2000. I want to say 2013 is when I started, but she's helped so many people. So here she is, responsible for this show and all its episodes, Betty Warren. Betty, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Bill. It is great to be here. My goodness sakes, 600 shows. I am just in total awe of this achievement. You're right up there with Johnny Carson.
Yeah, when you think about the number, Betty, 600, it's a lot of shows. We've talked to a lot of people, but what do you think when you think about all that's gone on in those many episodes and years?
Oh, I'm just amazed. I'm just in awe of how many people you've impacted. Buyers and sellers, potential property owners, and brought so much to the community. And I just appreciate that so much and have a high respect for your intellect and curiosity that keeps bringing all these variety of groups in.
Well, and as you know, as you were there when we first started, the people, there's so many aspects to this. The people that hear the show, whether it's on the internet at the time of broadcast, but also what a lot of people don't see, which is a big factor, is remember when we've had people in the studio and we pick guests not with necessarily any certain theme, but when we have them in the studio, they may not have met each other, or they may have known each other or heard about them, and next thing you know, they forge friendships, business relationships. I mean, we've had some realtors when they met the broker at the other one, they moved over. So many interactions and dynamics have happened. It's astounding, let alone being a personal development tool for all of us.
That is one of those, what do they call that? Unintended consequence, in your case, an unintended benefit. For me, at least, because that wasn't something I really anticipated when we set this program out. My goal there, when we first started to talk about this, was what's the impact going to be on the Stewart Title? And, you have to find a way to set yourself apart from the competition. And for us, this was a way to set ourselves apart because it was something that nobody else was doing at that time. It made us look good to the community, and it helped us to provide what we liked doing most, information and education to the general public and to the professional community that we served.
In fact, that was one of the things when I was telling you, you're saying, well, a radio show, how do we do that? And you said, like all good business people, first question, how much will it cost, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then you went very quickly to the next element, and you said, well, what would those, you actually considered it in those split seconds, you said, well, what would give me the first 10 shows? What would they be? And I think I put down Sugarland, how sweet it is, Inside the Loop, Outside the Loop, High Rise. I put some ideas, and you said, okay. You took that and went to the powers that be and presented it. But also along the way, I think I said something like, well, just like you just said, no one else is doing this, Betty. We'd be unique. And you're saying, well, we don't just want to do something because no one else is doing it, right? It has to have value. You remember saying that? That's
Oh, yes. It has to
ago.
fit with our mission and our vision of what Stewart is and what we want to, how we want to be viewed, how we want to be recognized in the community. Not so much or even more than the service provider, but someone that does bring all the mixes together, because there's dozens of people that it takes to get a closing done and the finality of that.
And I would imagine not just people like me call you from time to time, but all the people that you've worked with at Stewart and that also have retired or gone on to other places. But I bet you hear from a lot of people because you really made a fantastic impact on people's lives. And that's what I liked about you as I got to know you right away.
Well, that's sweet of you to say. Our goal was always to not so much sell as it was to develop relationships, personal relationships, and do what we did. This is what Walt Disney said. Do what you do so well that people will want to come back and see it again. And people still pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to go back to Disney World and see it again. And that was an underlying theme where the way that I like to work is to not so much sell somebody on something, but make it so attractive and so successful that they want to be a part of it. And I think you've done that very well on the Real Estate Matters show and making people want to be a part of it. Not only do they understand the value it can bring to them and their personal business, but they want to be a part of something that is bringing real value. It fits with just the overall mission of our business.
One of the things that amazes me on every show, and a lot of times, especially with the realtor, I will ask the same question, thousands of times maybe, but we hear different answers. So I still ask the question because it's like, holy smokes, I've talked to 900 realtors, 800, whatever it is, and they come up with something completely different.
Right.
Fascinating what we learn about the people.
It is. One of the things I've been thinking about when you called and said, let's talk about real estate, is does real estate really matter? You know, the name of the show is Real Estate Matters. And I think we can say, yes, absolutely, it does. It's the basis of the wealth that our country's founded on, unlike other countries, many other countries. And even today, we see wars going over occupation of real estate. And when Sam Houston was trying to figure out how he was going to make this territory grow, he knew that creating family ownership, property ownership, would be a success. And so he sent out people all over the world, really, to bring back families. And my family, 6 generations, came here in 1844 because Henry Castro, who's remembered now in Castroville, Texas, came and said to them in Alsace, France, you can have real estate if you come to Texas. And he brought 600 families here. They sailed into Galveston, Texas, took a schooner over to Matagorda, and wound up in Sabinal near Uvalde. So real estate mattered 175 years ago, and real estate matters today. So you've been right at the heart of the matter.
And now that you mention it, you chose the name Real Estate Matters because I was brand new to the title business. And I think the first thing I said, hey, how about title talk? And you're like, no, that's too boring or something, right? Remember that?
I do. Well, the reason I like that Real Estate Matters, and I don't know what made me think of it, but we could use it in another definition too, in Real Estate Matters.
Of course.
Such as,
right,
what are the things that are important to the transaction? And of course, you've got property management, you've got lenders, you've got surveyors, lawyers, and you've done shows on staging, landscaping, using psychologists, just dozens of entities that matter in a real estate transaction. And each of those people have been given an opportunity to share their knowledge with the public. That's great. It is just the best way for people to become immersed and informed, and the greatest single purchase they're probably ever going to make.
It's absolutely fascinating. Well, Betty, before we close the segment, any final word? What else do you want us to know before we call you to do show number 700?
And it'll happen before you know it.
Indeed.
I am just so proud of all the work that you have done. And I only said yes. I didn't do the 600 shows. All I said was yes, that one word. You took over from there and have been a fabulous ambassador for Stewart, for Real Estate Matters, and for the real estate community. And I know you will reach 700 shows, and I look forward to being there.
Betty, you gave me the opportunity to host this show with over 600 episodes and talk to thousands of people at this point, to use the platform, as we said in the beginning, to inform, entertain, and inspire all those 600, all those people, because you said yes once.
It's a mighty word. We didn't even talk about all those people like Robert Duvall.
We had
Johnny
Robert
Carrabba,
Duvall, yeah.
Robert Sakowicz, astronauts, authors,
Yep.
just the wide variety of people that you've been able to bring in that weren't necessarily a part of the transaction, but were very interesting to the transaction.
That's right. And we talked with each one of those celebrities or notable figures, we did bring up real estate because it affects everybody's life.
It does. It absolutely does. Real estate matters.
Well, Betty, thanks so much. We'll talk to you on another episode. And once again, you changed my life and you've changed others. Even those that are on the show one time, they don't come back. They rise to the occasion. They get this Real Estate Matters. It's now a Real Estate Matters experience these last couple hundred shows because of the videos and the interaction, the people. But you started something. And again, thank you on behalf of all of us still at Stewart Title. We appreciate it and enjoy your retirement with your family and all the great things you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bill.
Well, as we continue on the part of the show where we're thinking about we're talking about how the show started, where do we go from here? Two key individuals at the early onset of the show. You heard Betty Warren, of course, where I went to her with the idea. But now, at the same time, Betty and I were talking. We talked to Tom Carpentier. You hear his name mentioned throughout the show here. He's the president of Stewart Insurance. And we said, Tom, would you be a part of this? And here he is right now, Tom Carpentier. Tom, welcome to the show.
Bill, great to be here as always. Great to see you, sir.
And since it started, here we are, all this, it's, I don't know, 12 years, 13 or 11 and a half. I lose track, but it was so interesting. And it really, to me, says a lot about leadership. When we got with you and we told you just in a few short minutes, hey, this is what we want to do. You thought about it. And you said, yeah, okay, just like that. We didn't have to go to committees. You didn't have to run it up the flag. You made the decision as president of Stewart Insurance. And by the way, I thank you 1,000-fold. You changed my life and many others along the way. So what inspired you to say, hey, let's take a shot on this thing?
Well, first, Bill, just congratulations. 600 shows, fantastic. I mean, the consistency and, what is being delivered is incredible. And I want to start by just saying congratulations and thank you for all the years of dedication in bringing, tremendous shows to the air week in and week out. As I reflect on that conversation between you, me, and Betty, it just seemed like a great idea because it was a way to bring information and help people make more informed decisions about one of the most important things in our lives, and that's real estate, right? It's important in our lives. It's important in the economy. People are making very sometimes difficult decisions. So if we can regularly be helpful, that's what really dawned on me is, this is an opportunity for us to be helpful to people so they can make more informed decisions about real estate and everything that revolves around real estate. And I think you've really delivered on that because, we've had, great agents like Roberta, and we've had builders, we've had lenders, we've had appraisal firms, you name it. Think about any type of business or people that
revolved around pets, everything.
Pets, hey, a lot of homeowners with pets. So, I can't really put a one word or thought around it other than, it just dawned on me that this would be really helpful to a large number of people if we can deliver content, information, and guests that is insightful and really helpful to help people make decisions and better understand real estate. And that's, I think you've continually, and the show is continually delivered to be extremely useful and helpful to the real estate and broader communities.
Indeed, and in showcasing the guests that we have, the real estate professionals, realtors, and all the different types, inspectors, surveyors, all those things, the audience, whoever listens at the time of broadcast, and of course, since we started, it's on so many platforms that these live on, but the audience gets to know the people behind the companies, behind the certain brokers, and those sorts of things. But as icing on the cake, you and I have talked about this a million times, we at Stewart Insurance, at Stewart Title, get to know the people in the industry. We get to know them better. And, in fact, sometimes do business with them, sometimes not. But in knowing the people behind the profession is just fascinating and very helpful, not just to us, but the listeners.
There's no doubt about that. Real estate and quite frankly, any business, it's about relationships, and getting around and being able to be around really smart people is something that is really helpful for us and for everybody, right? So it's ways to ultimately be helpful. You've got to continue to read and learn and put yourself around smart people. And we've brought some really, really great, incredible people that have so much to share. And it's a venue, and the other side of it, it's a great professional development tool for people. I think
each one of us.
For each one of us, right? I mean, to be able to get on the radio and talk about your profession, talk about your life, talk about your strategies, your goals. We've had a lot of young real estate professionals that this has kind of been a kickoff for them, right? To really get out there and start the first step of building their brand, right? And so I think about it from the professional development standpoint, then just being continually helpful and useful and bringing relevant information. I mean, think about all the changes in the economy and the market since we've been doing this show, and how, this has been a consistent resource of just bringing updates related to the real estate market. Houston has grown how much since we started this show, and we've been week in and week out delivering updates in terms of what's changing. I mean, Roberta just gave a fantastic segment of what's going on in Sugar Land, right? It's a great place to, I can't say it another way, just get really relevant, great content about real estate from all different people within the industry.
And if we were to have these documented from a statistical standpoint, two words that stand out: growth and expansion. If we were to know how many times a realtor or someone else talked about growth and expansion in Houston, I don't know how many words we would count, what the count would be on those two words, but it's a heavy common theme in this city,
right?
Unlike I bet other areas.
No question. The growth and expansion of people. How many realtors or real estate professionals we had on this business that were just starting out, that are now seasoned and doing exceptional things at high volume, and have helped and supported thousands of clients, right? I mean, it's really a beautiful thing.
And the other thing that's the backdrop, and I think this hasn't changed since the beginning, is that here, as we see realtors, we talk every now and then, we throw the number, I think it did just a minute ago, 40,000+ realtors are in the Houston area. So they're not all practicing, but it still sets the tone that it's a competitive market. And for the real estate professional, it's competitive. So they have to be at the top of just like the restaurant business in Houston. You have to have a good restaurant. If you're going to open a restaurant up, well, there's a lot of good ones. So you better bring the A game and think of some creative things to bring to the mix to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. In real estate or any business, it's what is your distinctive competitive advantage, right? I think, what we hear time and time again with folks is not necessarily copying or doing what other people do. They just find their own unique way of being helpful and really serving clients in a tremendous way, right? I listen to the show week in and week out, and I always, love the fact that, when people are on here, there's one common denominator, and that everybody is trying to be helpful and help people. Whether that's, giving them insights to make the best decisions, or, helping their competitors sometimes, it's just a makeup of people that really care, and they're really trying to really make a difference in what they're doing. And that's been a common theme that I've been, really excited about and really have seen with all our guests. And
you have the unique distinction of probably being one of the only people that, other than me, that has heard almost every show. And I mean, a lot of people miss a show or two or three or four, but you've heard every one. So thank you for that. And thanks for the support.
Absolutely.
So Tom, as we move forward, where do you want to see this thing go? And what do you think we should be doing more of?
Well, a lot of the same, it's the consistency and, having a trusted resource that's, on air every week that people can rely on to get some really strong quality information related to real estate and, quite frankly, all different types of things related to life. So, and we talked about that, just alluded to it a little bit, that, there's been people from all walks of life. And so let's just keep on keeping on and remain consistent and just, continue to bring great people that we all can learn from.
Sounds good, Tom. And once again, thank you. Without you saying yes, Betty First, Powers That Be, Tom Carpentier, thank you so much. Tom, let's tell people how they can reach Stewart Insurance, the phone number, and, of course, the magnificent website.
Absolutely. You can always find us at stewartinsurance.com. That's our website. You can start there. You can always call us all the time, and you'll get a person that will actually pick up the phone at 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. Give us a call if there's anything that we can ever help you with related to your insurance for your own home or your business. We're there.
Tom, thanks again. Tom Carpentier.
Thanks, Bill.
As we move right along, here we are from Stewart Title, Mike Snyder. He is a sales manager right here in the Houston area with many offices. We're going to hear about him. Mike, welcome to the show.
Bill, thanks for having me, and congratulations on number 600.
It's amazing, and thank you for your support as you came on board and with your team right there doing tremendous work. We appreciate it.
Well, sure. So I did a little homework on the number 600. Thought I'd make this relevant to this show. Did you know that Noah was 600 years old when the flood began?
Did not.
You did not know that.
600.
600. How about this? Only 9 players in the history of Major League Baseball have hit 600 home runs.
There you go.
And all of them, except for the steroid guys, and one who's not eligible yet, are in the Hall of Fame. So you're a Hall of Famer?
Thank you.
I think you're a Hall of Famer, Bill.
I'd like to think so.
I know you're a music person, so here's one last one for you. Only 11 albums have spent 600 weeks on the Billboard 200 list.
Wow.
So you're joining the likes of Michael Jackson and Pink Floyd and CCR and Eminem and some other greats. So congratulations on number 600.
Well, thank you for doing that research, because it is amazing when we think about the episodes, and I started to, but I thought it would take too much time. But things like other shows, TV shows, I mean, we're ahead of the Seinfeld series with the 600 episodes. We're not ahead. Apparently, General Hospital just is not stopping with 15,000 episodes.
Well, those people are coming back from the dead. I think my mom still watches it, and she watched it when I was a little kid.
I didn't know it was still on, but a lot of shows out there. But to have 600 every weekend, to hear people hear about Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, and each and every show, we, with Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, we're the ambassadors for the company, and it's a unique opportunity, I think, Mike, that our company has given us, and I'm super excited about it, and I know you and the team are.
Oh, yeah. We appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate Betty and Tom and John and all the people, and all the people that have put this together, and give an opportunity to a unique opportunity to our sales reps and for their clients to just get a couple minutes to share what's going on in the real estate community here in Houston. Thank you.
And that's right. The beauty is we learn about them. And one of the things I mentioned a little bit earlier is that as we're usually in this particular studio, I think it's fascinating that sometimes people know each other, sometimes they don't, but friendships, relationships are forged, and those kind of things happen behind the scene, and that's super fun.
It is, and everybody pulls for whoever's on the show, especially if you're a first timer. We're pulling for you and rooting for you, and it's fun. So it's been neat to see it.
It really is. And then of course we think about the expanding real estate market. It's moving, the Fort Bend, that direction. You're also leading the team in Montgomery County, the Northwest. I mean, what about the growth? It's just astounding.
So we are seeing just great numbers here early this year. In fact, we had three of our offices had the best March that they've had since kind of the crazy COVID days. And one of them, in fact, we're talking about Fort Bend and Southwest, our Richmond office, they probably had their best March since at least 2017. So we're seeing a lot of growth in these markets. We're seeing growth across Houston. We don't compare to the COVID years. Those were a little crazy, but going back to 2019 and before and right after that, we're seeing tremendous growth, and our offices are are just busy and taking on projects, and we're hiring escrow officers to bring more in, and we're excited about it.
Also, we want to take a word, Max Van Natter. Now, we talk about the Houston area and the growth, and that's a reflection of the leadership that Max has brought forth as well, leading the north, the south of Houston, and not to mention the team of escrow officers and the administration. He puts all that together in a way that the result has been growth. So we say, thank you, Max.
Yes.
Or at least I say thank you, Max.
I do too.
I kind of report to him.
Yes.
But he's done a tremendous job. He's inspired me in the years he's been there. But I have a feeling that he's just getting started.
He has really, this phrase gets used a lot, probably overused, and talking about changing cultures and culture and things like that. But he has really changed the culture at Stewart, which it's a 130-something-year-old company, and,
right?
And there were so many great decades. Little slip a few years ago, and then Max and new leadership came in, and it's a great place to be. And I'm excited to be here, and just the mindset of the leadership here in Houston between Max and Jen and Drew Dobbs and Kimberly McFarland on the south side. I mean, Jennifer Shamitis. I mean, it's just it's a total change. It's extremely positive place to be, and I just love being here.
And Mike, how many offices are you directly working with?
So I have 6 sales reps across 8 offices, and then our offices in Montgomery County, I kind of assist with those guys. They don't necessarily fall under my division, but that's another 4 offices. So that's mine here in Houston. And then with the offices down on the south side, I think we're at 22 offices around Houston.
Wow, it's awesome.
Yeah. Talking about growth, last year the residential resale market across the country grew by 2%, but Stewart grew by 11%. We had companies, our competitors doing maybe a little bit of hiring, but some of them were doing some layoffs. Over the last couple of years, we've hired 2,000 people across Stewart Title.
Wow.
And so what I want people to know is this is a great place to be. The company's growing. The numbers will show it. Trying to get a closing schedule will show it, because we have just got a lot going on, and we want to add people to that. We are in our branches growing our commercial business. And you can go in a local Stewart Title branch and close your commercial deals.
That's right.
All day long, let alone our NCS division, who closes really big deals. So it's a great time. Happy to be here and celebrating this one with you.
Well, and we put the word out here on this 600th show that if you're in the process of a real estate transaction, you're thinking about a real estate transaction, Stewart Title, we're there for you. Bring your contracts. You will be amazed, as will exceed your expectations.
Absolutely. Every day.
Mike, how can people learn more?
Learn more. Website is stewart.com. Reach me at 713-261-0472. That's 713-261-0472. Call or text.
And Mike, thanks for your support. It means a lot to me and the team. Mike Snyder.
Thank you, sir.
And here we are. I'm not going to do the insurance preamble. Let it be said, though, that Mr. Insurance, doing an insurance segment here. John, I don't know. I wish we would have figured when you first did your first installment of the insurance segments. But here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. John, welcome.
Well, thank you, Bill. I'm a little disappointed in you.
Oh, no.
I thought on the 600th show it's just going to be the two of us.
Oh,
so for the last 3 months, I've been compiling a list of 600 things that we've learned from all the different 600 episodes of Real Estate Matters. So, but now, I mean, we had wonderful guests, so I can't argue with that. But I've had to narrow it to 6 + 1.
All right, 6 + 1, and those that tune in know that John always has, many times has, 10 + 1 tips. 5 + 1, but here today to honor the 600. 6 + 1.
Yeah, so I had to take the 600 list that I put together.
It's tight then. It's a tight, concise.
Yeah, it was tough, but these were the 6 + 1 that I put together.
Awesome.
Well, the first one to keep in mind, and we've learned this for our real estate business clients, especially those that we work with on professional liability or errors emissions coverage, that it's always better to have defense outside the limits versus defense inside the limits coverage. So we always want to keep that in mind. That way, that if there are defense costs as part of a claim, it doesn't always affect the liability coverage that you have. So if you have $1 million liability limit and you have $200,000 in attorney's fees, those $200,000 attorney's fees are not going to affect your $1 million liability limit. So that's why it's important to have defense outside the limits if you can. We spend a lot of time talking about the benefits of replacement cost versus actual cash value. So understanding that one, actual cash value is going to take in depreciation prior to repair or replace, where replacement cost does not take into depreciation, so it repair or replace at today's market value. So we've spent quite a bit of time talking about that. Number 3, how we can save some money on our home insurance. And one of the best ways is taking your home policy and your auto policy and placing them with the same company. And many times, not only can we save money on the auto premium, but we also can save money on the home premium. So working with your insurance advisor in that area to place both policies with the same company can save you money. Number 4, we learned how to pronounce multi-factor authentication.
You did. I still am not able to tackle that phrase.
Well, we learned how to pronounce multi-factor authentication, but even more importantly, we learned why it's important, especially when it comes to preventing potential cyber crimes. So we've spent a lot of time in talking about that. Number 5, water damage versus flood. That while the damage that the water does ultimately could be the same damage, where that water comes from is going to determine what kind of coverage comes into play. So if it's moving outside the home in, then there's a chance that it's going to be your flood insurance. But if it's water damage that occurs inside, let's say a broken pipe or a water backup, then potentially that would be your home insurance policy. So again, we learned the difference between water damage and flood, and that depending upon where that damage originated, that's going to drive which policy would come into play. Number 6, the definition of properly insured, that we always talk about properly insured, and it simply means that whether you're a real estate business or a family with your own personal insurance, that you understand the coverage that you do and do not have, and you're comfortable with that. So wherever you are in the life of your business or your family, that you're comfortable with that coverage, then in our feelings that you're properly insured. And that's the main thing. We just want to make sure that our clients understand what their coverage does provide and what it doesn't provide, and they're comfortable with that. And that would be number 6. And then our plus for our families and our individuals out there that want their personal insurance taken care of. And if you want to make sure that you're properly insured, then they need to speak to Sonia and Andrea and May and Mario and Janet, members of our personal lines team, because they will take care of you. They will make sure that you're properly insured. They'll make sure that the policy we have in place covers the needs you have, plus meets the budgetary requirements that you have as well.
The plus one is always nice. And the other thing that's nice, John, is that as we have presented the term, which I've never heard before, it's our term, it's Stewart Insurance, properly insured, on the airwaves here. I don't know how many times we said that, but hopefully it has been inspiring, and it's sinking into people right now as they listen, and those that have before, because that truly is simply, it's succinct, it means a lot, and it makes you think, oh, what do I have to do with all these different insurances, the renewals? I want to be properly insured. So if you have that mindset going into talking to an associate at Stewart Insurance, that's a great way to go. And then when you start thinking about all the different policies, just those 2 simple words, keep it simple so you don't get too stressed, but you have that simple goal to go forth.
Well, and it's becoming more and more important in today's marketplace with the strains on the cost of insurance and how that potentially can affect coverages or what coverage levels look like. Sometimes consumers assume that insurance policies and insurance policies and insurance policy. So if I have home insurance, I have home insurance, and they're all a bit like fingerprints, that they're all unique. So you and I could have the same house built at the same time, next door to each other on the same street, and both have the same insurance company, and your policy is going to be different than mine because your needs are different than mine. So that's why it's important that you take a little bit of time and have an advisor that's willing to invest the time with you to make sure that you understand the coverage that you don't have, and that meets your needs or your business needs at this point in your life.
Properly insured.
Well, if you do want to be properly insured, whether it be for your family and your individual coverage, or for your real estate business, or if you have an interest in learning the other 594 things that we learned in the 600 episodes of Stewart Insurance, they can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. Learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
And someone once said that there's a Texas A&M hotline. Is that true?
There is a Texas A&M hotline. We've just upgraded it. It has even better service. Instead of ringing, it plays the war hymn, and that number is 866-798-2827. Whoop! There you go, Bill. So we've converted Bill. He's now an Aggie.
I'm wearing an Aggie T-shirt right now. John, thanks for being with us, and thanks for all you do. And the good news is the other elements, the other points you didn't get to, well, we're going to keep rolling along. They could tune in next week. You'll have more.
We'll have more. And congratulations, Bill, on number 600.
Thank you for all you've done. Well, as we wind up the episode here, number 600, she is back. Roberta Meggs with Keller Williams Southwest. Well, Roberta, thank you for being with us. It's been a special show, but any show you would be on, I think, would be special.
Aw, you're too kind, Bill. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Seriously, it's a privilege. This is a big deal.
It is, and let's just remind people, again, you're serving buyers and sellers in a magnificent way, especially Fort Bend, Sugar Land, Richmond. What am I missing? What are the other areas?
Richmond, Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy. That's it. The greater Fort Bend County area, for sure. Yes.
So when someone needs an expert in buying or selling, and even a little inspiration along the way, because that's part of the realtor's job, there's a counseling element. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's a huge counseling element. I don't buy and sell houses. I am a consultant, and I love to help people make the decisions. I mean, real estate's one of the biggest decisions of your life, not just financially, but lifestyle and everything. So if you're stuck in the someday, don't be, because someday is the most expensive day in real estate. So I love to help people get out of that someday and make that someday happen now. You can follow my YouTube channel.
And your YouTube channel is?
Roberta Meggs Real Estate.
Meggs, right?
Meggs.
And let's remind people once again, because I didn't know about it till I met you, it is Austin Point. You're in the know about what's going on there, this massive development right there in Richmond. Is it Richmond?
It is in Richmond. That's right.
Austin Point. So if someone wants to know about that, there's a lot of homes, but it sounds like they're going fast already.
They are going fast, and not just in Austin Point, but even around Austin Point, really in all of Fort Bend County, especially in the Richmond and Rosenberg area. Yes.
Sounds good to me. Roberta, how can people reach you, Roberta Meggs?
Well, of course, you can follow my YouTube channel, Roberta Meggs Real Estate, or on Facebook, find me, Roberta Meggs. But the best way is to call or text me at 281-512-2551. Again, that's 281-512-2551.
Roberta, thank you so much. It's been great to see you. And we want to say thanks to Jeremy Good, my good buddy. You're helping him with his home. He told me about you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Roberta Meggs, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Show number 600. We're going to come back again with 601. We're going to keep doing our best to keep you informed, entertained, and inspired along the way. Check out the YouTube channel. It's Radio Bill. That's Radio Bill, or where you see the full description of the show, stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio. Once again, thanks for listening and making 600 shows possible.
Thank you all for listening to our 600th episode. Thank you, listeners, and thank you to our 3 amazing Stewart leaders. And of course, way to go, Bill. I'm Roberta Meggs with Keller Williams Southwest. Tune in next week.